Alright, so I've been testing a bunch of Gen 6 teams, and today I made one that it's not great. I'm not gonna call it great, but I went 8-3 with it, so that's not bad. And I got a couple of exciting matches that I figured I'd show you. So first, I'll show you the team. It's Choice Scarf, Landorus, Therian. I don't see a lot of people running Choice Scarf, Landorus, Therian, but I actually think it's pretty good. It has base 145 attack, so that's pretty good, and 91 speed. Anti-lead, Infernape, of course, Focus Sash, Fake Out, Overheat, Close Combat, Earthquake. Earthquake, I don't really use it much, but I didn't know what else to put in the fourth move slot. I didn't really need Stealth Rock, so I just put Earthquake there for coverage in case I want to bring Infernape in on something else. Thunderous, Prankster, just mainly to cripple things. I don't really use it much, but I don't know. I like using it, so it's on the team. Venusaur. This team is kind of based around Mega Venusaur. It's really a wall. I'll show you. Mega Venusaur's stats are. Okay. I'll slash data this. Mega Venusaur. Okay, so it has 123 defense and 120 special defense with 122 special attack, which is pretty good. 80 HP. It's not great. Doesn't matter though. All right, so it's a pretty good wall. So I use that a lot with Sleep Powder, Leech Seed, Sludge Bomb, Giga Drain. It's a pretty good set. Alright, so Genesect, Choice Scarf, this is pretty standard. But I'm running Explosion, Extreme Sleep, Blaze Kick, Iron Head. This really just, it's kind of for revenge killing, but I usually use Landorus for that. And lastly is Porygon Z, which is Choice Specs, Adaptability, Tri-Attack, Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, Shadow Ball. Tri-Attack is what I usually use, of course, because adaptability, which makes stab go to 2 times instead of 1.5 times. So that's pretty good. And then Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, Shadow Ball is just for other coverage. Alright, so 2 matches I'm going to show will begin now. Alright, so I'm on the opposite side, if you don't know that. And this guy's going to lead off with a Volbeat and Tail Glow right off the bat. I Stone Edge, but he has Focus Sash. So I'm going to Stone Edge again, but he Baton Passes into his Empoleon. And I just keep Stone Edging, but I figured that since I'm Scarfed, I'm just going to have to switch because Stone Edge is doing nothing. So I switch into Venusaur, and I'm going to Mega Evolve as he Agilities. And he's going to Ice Beam, but if you don't know, Mega Venusaur has ability Thick Fat, which means it gets half damage from fire and ice moves. And that's why that doesn't KO even with a Tail Glow boost. So I'm going to set up a Leech Seed. He's still asleep. I'm going to Giga Drain, just try and whittle this thing's health down. It doesn't really matter if he wakes up because he can't do too much damage to me. And now he eats his Pitaya Berry, and that gives him a special attack boost, but he still doesn't wake up, so I take him out. Venusaur's still at full health now. And now he brings in his Volbeat, and he Thunder Waves, which is pretty bad, but I figure I can just take it out with a Giga Drain. He tries to Tail Glow after the first Paralyze, but Giga Drain takes it out pretty easily. So what he's going to do is bring in his Darmanitan, which I'm guessing is Scarfed. It Earthquakes, which is neutral damage because Grass resists Earthquake. And I'm going to Sleep Powder, so this thing is asleep. Luckily I hit that. And then I try to set up a Leech Seed, but I missed that. So I'm going to switch out right on into Landorus, see if I can take this thing out. Plus I get the Intimidate attack drop on the Darmanitan. So I go for a Stone Edge, I miss. He wakes up, goes for a Rock Tomb, he misses, even though that has like 95% accuracy. Then I miss another Stone Edge. He goes for a Flare Blitz, doesn't take me out. Then I miss another Stone Edge. And this time he hits a Rock Tomb, but it doesn't take me out. And finally I hit a Stone Edge, and that takes out Darmanitan. He really didn't play that too well. He should have just switched out or just gone for another Flare Blitz. I guess he was predicting my switch though. So he brings in his Barbercool and Shell Smashes as I bring in my Thundurus, and I'm going to Thunder Wave it. But on the next turn, he manages to take me out with 1 Razor Shell, which is pretty crazy, but he has double attack. So what I do have is I get an attack drop on him from Intimidate, but he's carrying a Focus Sash, and he takes me out with another Razor Shell. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Infernape and just Fake Out, because that'll take this thing out right away. So right now is Venusaur and Howlucha versus 4 of my guys, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to win this at this point. I'm going to overheat the Venusaur, which doesn't do much again because of thick fat. And he's going to sleep powder on my Infernape, which is pretty bad, so I'm going to switch out into my own Mega Venusaur and see if I can get a sleep powder on him. He sludge bombs me, so I'm going to sleep powder here, but I get paralyzed, so that's too bad. Mega Venusaur out now. So at this point I'm kind of worried because my Infernape is asleep, so I bring in my Genesect, 1.5 attack, and I'm just going to Explosion, just get rid of this thing, but nope, he switches into Howlucha, so get rid of that. I don't even know what that was going to do anyways, but now I'm kind of in trouble. All I have left is my Porygon, but I'm going to bring in my Infernape to see if it can wake up first or second turn. I'm not sure if it could wake up first turn, even if that's a possibility, because I don't think I was in for a sleep turn before I switched out last time. Either way, he's going to kill me before I wake up with Sludge Bomb. So it's mono y mono, Porygon Z versus Mega Venusaur. So I'm going to try attack. It does a good amount, but he hits the sleep powder, so I'm asleep. And now he's surprisingly going to synthesis. I thought he was just going to take me out and that would be GG. But he's going to synthesis. I'm asleep for another turn. He Sludge Bombs. It does less than half, so I have hope now. I wake up. I go for the try attack, and I get the freeze, but he thaws first turn and takes me out with a Sludge Bomb crit. So that was too bad. And now, okay, for the next match I'm using the same team again. I'm on the other side, so I lead with my Infernape against his Espeon, and of course I fake out just to get some damage, see how much it does. And next he's gonna set up a Reflect, which kind of surprised me. I just go for an Overheat, and I was expecting him to set up a Light Screen this turn, but I switched into Venusaur anyways, but he yawns, and I really don't want my Venusaur falling asleep, so I switch into Porygon, and right now I expect a Light Screen, so I was kind of worried, but he ends up going for a Substitute, so I'm just going to go for a Try Attack, and I'm not really sure what to do at this point, so I just let him kill me with a close combat. I figure I could take it out with either my own Infernape or something else. So what I end up doing is bringing in my Landorus, which is Scarfed, lower his attack, or an Earthquake. I was expecting him to switch out, but he didn't really have anything that could take it too well, so I just went for it, but he ends up staying in. And now he brings in his Crawdon, I bring in my Thundurus, and Aqua Jet does a ton. Crawdon has adaptability, so that means Aqua Jet is 80 base power. So I go for a Thunder Wave just to cripple it a little bit, and then he ends up taking out my Thundurus. And so I go into my Genesect, get the special attack raise, bluff the Thunderbolt, and then just go for the extreme speed. And that ends up taking out his Espeon. Now he goes into Donphan, knowing I'm physical. And I switch into my Venusaur, so he goes for Stealth Rock. And then he switches into Florges. At this point I Mega Evolve and miss the Sleep Powder. And then I go for a Sludge Bomb because that's super effective. Florges isn't grass type though, so it's only double effective instead of 4 times effective. So he goes to the Aromatherapy, heals his Crawdon of the paralysis, and I set up a Leech Seed on the Lucario. And then he switches out Lucario and goes back into Donphan, and so then I miss another Sleep Powder, which is unfortunate, but I can still get off a Leech Seed, and he roars me out in the Landorus. I lower his attack, and pretty much I'm in a pretty good position here, but I'm not really sure what I can do to his Crawdon, and then he Rabbit Spins away the seeds, and so I'm kind of worried about his Crawdon, and his Donphan is pretty bulky, but I'm whittling it down little by little. And now he drags me out into my Infernape with a Roar, and so of course I'm just gonna fake out, which does only 6%, so it doesn't really mean much because the leftovers just get him back to where he was before. And then I go for Overheat to take it out. So Donphan out of the way, that's good. And he brings back in his Crawdon, and I'm still scared of this thing. I switch out into Venusaur to take the Aqua Jet that I'm expecting, but he actually goes for a Crabhammer, which does a whole lot more than I was expecting it to, since it's resisted plus Venusaur's bulky. But I go for a Sleep Powder and I miss again, which is third time, 6.25% chance to miss 3 times, but whatever. So I go for a Leech Seed just to help get Venusaur some health back. And I go for another Leech Seed, predicting a switch into Lucario, but he ends up just going for the Wish instead. And now I'm really expecting a switch, so I think I go for the Sleep Powder. I do go for the Sleep Powder, and this time I hit it on Lucario, which is nice because this Lucario can't do anything to me while it's sleeping. So he ends up going back in the Florges. I set up a Leech Seed, but I miss again. I'm missing a lot with the Venusaur. And I set up another Leech Seed, and he goes for the Aromatherapy, cures the sleep, which is annoying as hell. But I'm getting health back with Venusaur, so that's good. I put the Florges to sleep so he can't heal anything else. And then the end of the match is pretty interesting. I go for another Leech Seed, predicting another switch, and he just stays in. He's still asleep, so I think I go for a Sludge Bomb, and I get a crit, as you can see. So I take out the Florges, which is good. So he's going to bring in his Crawdaunt, so I'm pretty much expecting a Wood Hammer, but I'm faster, it turns out, so I can put him to sleep pretty easily with Sleep Powder. And then I miss another Leech Seed, and well, I'm in pretty good position right now. I'm pretty sure I can win this game. I'm dwindling down this Crawdaunt at this point. I get a crit on the Giga Drain, so now it's pretty much over. I think I'm about to 4-0 this guy. He brings in the Lucario, and he Aura Spheres, which does absolutely nothing. And I Sleep Powder just to make sure he doesn't get crits or anything like that. And after that, he just forfeits. So I thought that was a pretty exciting game. And thanks for watching, guys.